Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of JaianMusic Notes. Today is a video version of the podcast. Haven't done this ever before. This is the first time, and I'm doing this time because it's a very special occasion. It's a very special deal. This is something that happened, was in the works for a very long time that did not announce on social media, but today, I'm joined by a truly genre-defining force in rock, Lukas Rossi. From winning Rockstar Supernova to fronting award-winning bands and leading powerhouse collaborations across rock, Lukas has built one of the most dynamic careers in modern music. From his chart-topping performances to unexpected collaborations like Neurotic with 3 Days Grace, Lukas continues to blur the lines between raw rock, cinematic anthems, and intimate ballads, including lending his vocals to the unforgettable Beyblade theme song. Lukas has built a career on fearless reinvention and raw talent. Whether fronting a band or crafting solo records, his music has continued to evolve, resonating with audiences across generations. So today on JaianMusic Notes, we dive into his creative journey, the legacy of anime music, and so much more. Enjoy. Lucas, so happy to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really like starting these interviews with like open-ended questions. Obviously, there's a vast body of work. There's a lot of accomplishments, and you have done an incredible job, I think, with your music career, staying dynamic, staying versatile, and staying active. Most importantly, but what was the starting point of it? Because obviously, you were like in bands back in the '90s, but like, what was the point where you decided music is where I'm going and what I'm chasing?
Because I literally did not want to. I started off as like I was a dancer. I did
Okay.
a lot of like hip hop. I was into that shit, like NWA and all that like delicious shit. And my neighbors, like friends I grew up with from my first band Cleavage, like we just miraculously one day we were just like, do you want to just try this rock like stuff? We heard we heard a guitar across the because we live right across the road from a schoolyard, and there was this, we just heard this fucking sound like I'm like, what the fuck, what is that? And it was just some kid that plugged his amp, this little amp, and a guitar into the outside of the school. Like back in the day when there was like plugs, you could, And then we didn't think anything of it, but Grant, my guitar player from Cleavage, was a mastermind, like insane. He became that. He was started off piano, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he went over and he saw this, he's like, what is that? And he immediately ran home, which was, fucking just across the road, and asked his mom for like $30. Somehow he bargained this fucking dude who had the guitar, bought the guitar, didn't tell us. This fucker just stayed in his house for like a week, and then he came and went, hey guys, do you remember that sound we heard across the road? Well, I've been playing this guitar. And he goes, check it out. And we were just like, holy shit, bro, what? Wow, like just the sound and the inspiration and the possibilities of like that was just a super big sign for me, because I just felt like, wow, life just got better,
Right.
So then we God, like, look how this worked out. The drummer, we all lived in a cul-de-sac, right? So the drummer, his dad was is a hobbyist in drumming, right? He had the whole huge kit with the cage, like overboard type stuff, He just loved it, right? And then the drummer goes, hey, why don't we do like a band? And I was like, cool, sure. I had no fucking idea. I was like, what other instruments are there in a band? That's how young we were. And yeah, so anyways, we used to, we were like, yeah, we'll do that if we figure out how people do this type shit, right? But we would go out, me and John, and we would be bad guys, and we'd smoke a little joint, walking down the street, and I would do opera, like holy la, like stuff like that, just to make him laugh. And he'd go, "Yo, what the fuck is that?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just making fun. I just like it's opera or whatever, you know. But he was profusely saying like, "Dude, nobody can do that shit. Like that's retardedly awesome." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, dude, do that again." So it just, I guess, you know, long story short, we all, and his brother, the drummer, his brother became the bass player because we needed another instrument, right? So we had a guitar player, a drummer, a bass player, and this guy does opera. Yeah. And then we just kept doing it and sucked a lot. We were not good. No one is like great at first, but, and then it just became an obsession. It was, and it made me feel better because my living and upbringing was very tumultuous and fucking awful. So it was a place where I could literally jump into a bubble of mine and have some me time and lifetime, you know? And it became my lifetime. It really did. And the rest is fucking, as they say, history, man. I just, I'm obsessed with still getting off things off my chest, my shoulders. And I think if not for music, I probably, no, I definitely would not be here. I would, there would be a different, different multiverse for my version of me, the other version of me. Hopefully that wasn't
Absolutely.
like a run-on sentence. I'm good at that.
No, it's. I mean, we're on a show. We can talk about as much as we want. That's. I love it. I think it's authentically you, and I think it's something that's very true. That we're kind of lost in this world, and then we just come across something that ignites us. And I really feel like when I listen to your music and the way you express yourself with your vocals and the lyrics, you can feel that there's a lifetime of experience to share. And you can see it across the different bands, whether it be with Cleavage or and like I was going through like everything else. There's so many collaborations that you did. I find so interesting. What would be one of the most important moments that shaped you as the musician you are? Because obviously you hear that sound across the street, the guitar, the opera, it kind of clicks together. We could do a band. That starts you. But what shapes you? What allows you? Is it Rockstar Supernova? Is it what was one of the first few moments where you felt like you really belonged there and it defined you?
Well, damn. Like I said, it was my upbringing was very fucked up. But I never gave up. You know, I always followed the possibility of like happiness and no stress, so to speak. You know, and that's why I've been in so many projects. They've all been mine, but I never like. There's so many facets and parts of me. Sounds a little weird, but it's true. And I could express myself with all these different individuals that I was, you know, blessed to be a part of to play music. And I learned so much from all these different people, and I'm very glad I made those choices to expand and you know open up my creativity. You know, like you know, keep your eyes and ears open, your mouth shut, type of deal. But you know, I guess yeah, it had to have been Supernova, man, because that was, you know, finally confirmation. Like, man, you can do this. You earn this because they searched like 250,000 people for that role, and you know, it hit me one day. I went, I'm better than 250,000 people. Wow. Like that is
Right.
like
That's
riveting shit, bro. You know, I didn't know that. I just, you know, I just tried my best and then heard that shortly after, like during the show. I'm like, how many fucking people? What? Anybody else, their ego would have been like, fuck yeah, I'm the shit. But I was, it just made me work harder and literally, bro, music became a religion for me because the people affected by the music, are what turned me into a serious individual musically, because there's so much at stake for me as well. I knew how it felt for me and why I wrote it, but the other side of the coin is who's listening. So you need to be wary about what the fuck you're saying, and also your delivery. Mean it. Don't do it to get free beer and get laid. I mean, a lot of people do that. I'm including myself. I didn't do it in like for that, but it's like funny. Oh, free beer! We play at a nightclub. Fuck, I don't have to be at my dad's house and fucking get a boom. I don't have to be sad. I could just fucking enjoy whatever's gonna happen. So yeah, it just became my duty, and God would never. He just, man, thank you, God, but he held me the whole time, and he said, no, 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 you gotta go like that, go this way, and it's been an awesome journey. It's not done yet either. I have like 3 records that I've been holding on to that I
I
was
read
just waiting
that.
for the right team and the
Triple.
right
Your
moment.
Wikipedia says triple album release in 2025. I don't know
Yeah.
if is that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, and there's more. Those are just the ones that we've collected that we know that are the right feel, the right message, the right sounds. Because to be frank, like I write country music. I'm a composer. I'm a kind of an everything guy. Like I play all instruments except the tuba. I'm a mean tambourinist. I'll tell you that. Yeah, Bob Dylan wrote Tambourine Man because of this guy right here. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
He wrote it about
I
that guy,
love it.
whoever. No, but yeah, it's my destiny, for lack of a better word. No other option, none. I'm not a fucking construction worker. I'm not a engineer like that builds fucking real estate and all that crap. It's my only. That's why God put me here. You know.
No, absolutely well said. And I think that when you speak of like, oh, I'm better than like all these people that audition for the show, and then you win the show and you go on tour with people who are the best in your field, people who are at the top of their game. Like how do you compute that? How do you even? I know you said like this is my only decision. There's no other plan for me, and I completely relate to that message. But then there's like a performance half of it that like the muscle memory comes in and you just do it. Like how do you cope with that? How do you like when you're hearing those fans chant and you're on that tour and you've done that a lot? I'm sure it comes with experience.
That's the other me. That's a guy that don't take any bullshit, because that's a much different person than is talking right now. But like there is a microphone in front of me, but I'm not playing music, and it's very eerie sometimes because I could like kind of black out and open my eyes, and there's people watching and screaming, but I don't hear the screams. I don't see them. I forget. So it's kind of like a Bruce Banner type thing, you know?
The Hulk.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
cool. It's really rad. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's got to be like so mind-boggling, but at the same time like it's the path that's been laid for you, and I think you do it so very well. I think I need to ask this as a huge fan of this show. Like, please tell me like your experience like recording the Beyblade theme song. Like, how did the opportunity come about? Like, what was the process like? Like, if you can give me A to Z, I would be so intrigued to
It
know.
was it was actually okay. The first band I was in, the band I was just telling you about,
Right.
was called Cleavage, right? And Martin Kuchai, who I co-wrote it with, and that he would just happened to be at a show of ours, and he's from Prague. Okay, so he has like a super thick accent. So I was after our show, before on my way to go get the free beer shit. He's there. He's like, "Hello, my name is Martin Kuchai. It's a very good set," and I was just like, "Thank you, wow, thanks, man. Where are you from?" And he told me about, he was just such a sweet, sweet, innocent, gentle soul, you know, with all these maniacs around, like, hey, bro, fucking. I'm like, thank God this guy's rad. And he's like, we kept talking the week after that. He was like, he called me and he's like, I have this thing that I'm doing for television for a show, and like I would love for your voice to like help me with it. And I was like, sure. So I went down to like Queen Street or something, like far down in the abyss of Toronto, and it was like midnight, and it was just this little room that he rented where he had a couple screens, a couple preamps, and his guitar, small, like very small, a production room where you do demos and stuff like that, or scoring, you know. So I walked in and I see these images of what everybody knows today as Beyblade, right?
Right.
And at that point, at that time, like I was like, I had no fucking idea what's going on here. Like, does this guy like cartoons? Like, I didn't know it was anything to do with what was on these two screens of his, you know. And he's like, "This is gonna be Beyblade. It's gonna be like a cartoon, blah blah blah." And I was like, "What do you mean? What do you, so how do are we doing a song?" He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it to the do it to like what we're looking at." I'm like, "Wow, that's fucking wow. How do you do that?" And 2 hours later, you have what has been like an anthem for millions and millions and millions of people, and that turned into toys and fucking. I was at a convenience store here in America, right? I had my son with me. He was like 3 feet tall. I'm holding his little chubby hand. I was getting him like a couple of like just treats. It's a trick for dads to make your kids like calm down a bit for the moment, because then they get the sugar and then you're fucked right back again. So I'm bringing him in, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, it's the Beyblades." And he had a little lisp. "It's the Beyblades." And I go, "You know Beyblade?" And he's like, "Duh." I go, "What the fuck?" And then also I felt so proud. My chest kind of went like, and I went, "Your dad sings that song." And he goes, "Yeah, right, Dad. No, you did no." And I go, "No, I swear to God." So I bought him one. He's in the back seat, like, fucking just ripping it up. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm driving. I turn around. I go, "Yep, that's your dad." So it was a monumental, like life changing moment for me and my son. Beyblade. Thank God, man. I'm so glad that all those millions of people loved it, and I was a part of it. That's just a blessing, and
A true
so
blessing.
random. But I don't believe in random. I believe that God is just puts us in situations that are either good for you or test you to be good, you know?
Absolutely. That song has an energy that I think represents your music very well as well. So I really think that the choice of having you sing it makes so much sense, because there's this like action and intensity and energy that needs to be carried in this show. And the opening, when you hit, I've said this before, when you hit play on any anime, any show, like the opening song is the first thing we listen to. So we want to be in the mood. We want to get hyped up. We want to feel the energy. We want to feel like ready. And they did it right. And like it's the like that's the thing. I feel like as someone who's done a lot of engineering of artists, there's a certain language you need to be able to speak with the artist to get them in the right mindset to perform properly. Through all the projects you've done, and you've done a lot of solo and group projects, what have been important collaborations that you feel like you've learned a lot from, where you're like, wow, how did you get me to do this?
Well, actually, funny enough, that Beyblade song, I was about to say, there's one part which I'm sure you know, it's near the end. It goes, "Oh," like that. And
Yeah.
he mouthed like, "Can you do like a oh?" And I just stared at him. I go, Are you joking? What is what? I don't. What? That's not a note. That's a riser. I'd never done that before, so I learned these cool tricks and layers, like doubling and tripling and not singing too hard, and like don't be too breathy with your certain, any words, because that's a little weird, and we're not doing a porno fucking overdub. So yeah, that the Halo method, working with Ben Moody, who wrote all the Evanescence songs. We wrote a like a gospel, I think, that hasn't been out. That we're just working with any great people, man. Like, you got to know when you walk through the door that the ego is out there on the patio. You don't go in there like, oh fucking, you shut up. I'll do what I do. I just, like, again, I fucking shut my mouth and listened, and they just turned out to be such wonderful songs. I couldn't have done alone. You know.
Absolutely. Um, and when you speak of like collaborations, another one that I found very interesting was with Neurotic with 3 Days Grace. I would love to know like the Beyblade song. Like, how did that come about? How did that collaboration?
Oh,
Um,
Neil, the drummer from 3 Days, called me when I was in my condo in Nashville, and he's like, "Hey, bro, I'm coming to Nashville." I was like, "Oh, it was fucking dope, dude. It's awesome." So he came to my studio, and he just had this little keyboard in his laptop. So I plugged it into my big rig that I have here, whatever. And he just started doing like with like this synth bass shit, with just like a standard loop. We looped, and we looped that, and then we did like, I had some like chords in the chorus, just like bars, just nice big thick ones, boom. And then I just sang what came to my mind, and they loved it, and they want to use it on the record. I went, cool.
yeah, sometimes it's just that simple. And I think that with all of these different collaborations, what do you feel like?
Oh, I also had two. I
Yeah.
wrote two songs. No, one other song called "Neurotic" in Toronto
Okay,
with. Do you remember the band Moist?
I've heard of
Okay,
Moist. I've
Mark
heard of
McAway
Moist.
was the guitar player,
Okay.
and he's a great producer, killer, dope friend of mine. I wrote a song called "Neurotic," which is totally different. But this is what I've done throughout my career: is I have these great titles that inspire me. Great words that are a great starting place for dialogue and whatever. And that didn't really pan out because it was super demo, and it was like freaking 20 years ago. But I never let go of that word because I am fucking neurotic, like as fuck. So at that point, it just popped in my head. I'm like, this sounds like a neurotic. This sounds like mayhem. It sounds like
Mm.
you're tripping out. So I just used that word and then went one take kind of thing, and just sang whatever came to my head.
Okay.
Yeah, the second
Fantastic.
version.
That's fantastic. And I noticed like you obviously I've done a lot of cover song work as well on YouTube.
Did you hear
What?
Euphoria? The other one that Judge and Jury is like 3 Days Grace is Neil Sanderson and Howard Benson's label. I wrote
Okay.
another one which was the same day we wrote Neurotic.
So you do both in the same. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and now the 1,000 Foot Crutch, who's signed with them, they called me to use that one too. So I'm like, oh, fucking awesome! That's awesome.
That's really cool that like you can just like bounce off ideas and then you can see how they come to life with other people. But like going back to like obviously your original music is fantastic and like has shined through with collaborations. But you've also done a lot of cover songs in the past. What draws you to making a cover song? Is it something that you do in between originals to like get distracted, or like why throw that in when you already have such great original music?
you know, it, I thought that at first, but I just couldn't get over the fact that, yeah, and no offense to the original writers, and I just think some songs that, and I'm sure it goes the same for myself. The song is amazing, it's wonderful, but you didn't perform it right. You didn't. I don't think they did it like as they didn't do it the way I hear it in my head. So I need to get it out so I can hear it and go, "Oh, you're an idiot, Lucas," or "I told you." like that Adele
Mm.
song. Like that song is amazing, but the song is about like a wicked ass breakup. It's very tumultuous and fucking icky, but there's I don't know. It's kind of obsession in that. To me, that doesn't sound like a fucking piano with no drums. That's and singing sweet and perfect and vibrato fucking shit. I wanted to fucking shove it up your fucking, you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
be, you know. Anyways, that's just me.
I mean, it's got to be powerful. It's got to be like ready to rock, and I think that's like fantastic.
People
Um,
think that's my song. I did this. I went on Shiprocked, and we were playing with Limp Bizkit and all these huge bands and shit. But all the people, like just walking through that boat, I mean, shaking hands and meeting people, all of them thought they're like, "I love your song, hello," and I went, "Well, thank you." Yeah, I didn't lie. I just
no.
said thank you. If they think it's my track, then I guess in a way it is my song because it's not the same song. It's just it's a
I agree
rework, and
fully.
you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And when you say you've been a part of many projects, and it's your song, and like not it's a new version of the song, so now it feels like yours. Why do you like transforming other people's songs outside of just feeling like there's something that was missed? Is it sometimes that you hear something in a song and you're like, I want to go further down that path. I want to find something that's new, or like just it's is it just really about creating your own version and making it
Well,
right
no, because
for
I
you?
love the music too,
Right.
and so do the listeners, the fans out there. I mean, nowadays, which is crazy that a lot of bands like back in the day when I used to play clubs, like I was telling you, nowadays people there's rarely bands that the world's changed. Now people just want to fucking hear a great band play cover songs for 3 hours, and like venues, though they'd rather hire that than a band to display their personal music because they can't sell fucking seats, right? Or beer or what have you. People want to hear like fucking Journey songs and like, drink martinis and get fucked up, midday, like midday drinking. Especially in Nashville. I mean, it's crazy. It's all covers, and I ain't about to play covers. And they put a bucket in front of you, bro. It says tips. No, that's not my deal.
No,
I like if I wanted to have a bucket in front of me, I put me on a farm and in a fucking pig pen. I'm not doing that shit.
absolutely, absolutely. Another project I found really interesting was Stereo Satellite, and like how you ended up opening for Bon Jovi later on with that. Can you tell me a little bit about Stereo Satellite and like what that project meant to you?
Oh, it was wonderful. Mike Orlando from Adrenaline Mob, John Moyer from Disturbed. That was another. Mike had this wonderful music, like bed of music, and they were looking for somebody who could create on it, and it was amazing to do that because it was like going skiing down a hill, an endless hill. It's just so fun. You just go and you fucking go this way, and you just drift to wherever the fuck you want to go. No, there's no street signs. There's no hard lefts, hard rights. You just enjoy the fucking ride, bro. Yeah, and it was a mutual communication between musicians. No one was like, "What can you like?" No, I don't like that. No, no, you're gonna like that. If I like it, it's gonna be kind of creamy. I'm not gonna give you garbage. And it just. And then one day we were in rehearsal and Mike got a call. He's like, "Hey guys, you guys want to open for Jovi?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that'd be dope." It was rad. It's good times.
Yeah, yeah. But like it's good times, but it's also like there's still so much time for you to do like other projects, and like outside of your triple album work, and I'm sure there's like a massive catalog of unreleased music on a hard drive somewhere in the studio. Like, what else are you looking forward to in 2025, 2026? Like, what are some big projects? Like, anything you want to discuss? Obviously, I know like you can't share everything because projects are
Oh, I'll
projects.
share it. I don't care.
Okay.
I ain't that cryptic. I'm not like a Rosetta
All
Stone or
right.
some shit.
Some people are, man. Some people are. I
No,
know.
those are the fucking those are the insecure ones, man. Shit. My friend actually is actually visiting. He's sitting right across from me, Enrico Caruso, Enrico, not the guy, the opera shit. This is the real guy. He's real. Okay, so 30 years. I went to high school with him. I haven't seen him in 30 fucking years. And me and him in high school were the outcasts. You know, people would fucking, they'd be cool talking to you in front of your face, but when you leave, they chuckle and they fucking have their little powwow of insecurity with themselves, right? But I remember going into the gym. And we had like a fucking presentation. You know, all the fucking fold up chairs are all out, and I think it was some Christmas shit or whatever. But they had a piano on stage, and he was there, and just a bunch of other fucking whatever. Just like it's the guy with the cymbals that do, you know, the band shit, which I hated.
Classic.
So I remember looking and I'm like, okay, screw the guy with the cymbals that's annoying me, and then the guy with the flute, whatever it was. But I looked at Ricky and I was like, fuck, I want to do that, man. Like, I wish I could fucking do that. He wasn't even looking at the fucking keys. Like, and this is fucking 30 fucking years ago. Like, so imagine how talented he is. He could play Chopin on the toilet. Okay, like just not even, he could play with his feet, right? But wait, he has kind of stubby toes. I don't know about that. But he could. So I just remember going, and then while I was watching and thinking that in my head, I go, oh, I want to do that. This fucking guy, a friend of ours beside us, was like, look at fucking Ricky, this fucking asshole. And I go, you're an asshole. Well, look at that. Can you do that? Bro. He's like, but look at him, look at him, look at him. Look. I go, yeah, I am looking. Shut up. I'm listening. You fucking idiot.
Right.
Anyway, so we kept in touch, and he's still the same guy, but he's like me, bro. Like, I'm looking forward to. He's been here a few days now. The first day we wrote a mangler. Like, I'll send it to you, bro.
I'm down.
It's wonderful. You know what I mean? See, that's God again, bro. You know what I mean? That's just
absolutely.
so obvious. It's right in your face. You know? Yeah, and he's a maniac like me too, so I can tolerate him, you know? I love
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic
Yeah.
that you can like reconnect with people after such a long time. And I think it speaks to how important music is to you, just because through music, like your social life, your connections, your friendships, like can regroup even after 3 decades.
Yeah. It could. I also have a lot of people I thought would outlast fucking even like me. I thought maybe I would drop the ball and not be the returner of calls and what have you, but you give people a chance to be an asshole, man, they're gonna take it. You know, they will. They will. I don't really go out. I'm kind of a homebody. What's it called when you don't like to agoraphoric or yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like to look at people in their eyes. That's usually why I wear glasses, because it just makes me feel uneasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Is it the type of thing where, you know, you say when you're on stage, you don't really, like, you don't hear anything, you're just doing your thing. You make so much music all the time and you're so concentrated on that, like, outside of that, sometimes it can be a little unsettling when you're not in the music mode. Is it that type of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's kind of like a coat of armor, or like, you know, my defense system, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's maybe like a defense system that although brings you a lot of joy, because you can listen to the music and you, like you said, you have like all these things on your shoulders, or like stuff that like you want to express, and through the music and through releasing it, you're able to let go of whatever, maybe let go of what you were going through? Like, what's that emotional process in music for you when you put out, like for like your solo work specifically, like because there's a lot of it as well.
When I play live shows, like as of late, like my acoustic stuff online, um,
Yeah.
I like to be terrified and unprepared, because I do a lot of, I think 80% of the stuff I do live is all made up at that second, you know. So, which is, it's risky because it could be fucking shit, like really bad. But I've worked so hard and trained. Music's trained me actually to stay away from areas you know nothing about. And if you do and like delve into that terrifying territory, who knows, man? It may be the greatest decision of your life. And I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to, take an uppercut because I didn't have my hands up. And that's the fun part too. It's not just necessarily terrifying, but it's. Why do we go on roller coasters? It's fucking terrifying, but it's awesome, right?
It's fun. it's
Yes.
it's
And it's still
it's great.
fun. I get butterflies before every show. I get nervous. I mean, I'm nervous about this. I was nervous about this interview. I'm always nervous about
Really.
interviews, right? Because I'm a pretty humble guy, man. I don't want to say the wrong thing. We all like sometimes we go, oh fuck, thank God I didn't say that. Fucking this is you know.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, I think music is like it's freeing, man. Nowadays music, everything on the fucking radio is like it sounds so safe. Sounds like like you're in the car for 45 minutes. It sounds like you're listening to a 45-minute song by the same fucking band. I don't know.
Right.
Not good. That's not
I
good.
understand what you mean. That, like, there's not that
Same
breaking.
production.
Yeah, but it's more like there's not like that rawness and that energy that I think your performance naturally brings out. You know what I mean? Where you leave it all out there. Like, if I'm gonna put it into a song, it's gonna be known and it's gonna be felt across all these different generations of people that I've like influenced with my music. It's gonna reach. There's a bigger meaning to this.
That's right, dude. That's why I don't care. Like even if like I've put out a lot of songs where like I wasn't skeptical of the production at the time because I never gave a shit what
Right.
what musical geeks like you and I like. I didn't write it and record. I recorded myself. I don't have anybody do anything. I wasn't concerned with like, oh fucking fidelity, like the fucking, because that is a roadblock and a stupid way to think about music. Nowadays with technology and all of these people who have a laptop and some fucking plugins think they're producers and engineers and musicians. Well, you're not. Okay. So don't worry about my 2K and my low cuts and high cuts and reverbs and drum sounds and tones and fucking final mix. If you feel something from my songs, I fucking win. We both win.
That's the human side of it. That's the whole reason why music is a thing, in my opinion. It's because it's a human experience. It's an auditory human experience that can become emotional, even visual, and it's however you interpret it. And I think that you're correct, absolutely correct. Like, if I feel something from that, like, I win. It doesn't matter if like there was a high, there was the not the proper high pass and ta ta ti ta ta ta. Like, yeah, like that's such a beautiful way to put it. I love the way you put that
I got
together.
an email from a wonderful, wonderful fan, a human, the other day that my wife made sure that I read. She read it to me, and I was like, "What's going on?" It was very long, and I listened to every fucking word, and at the end of it, it really moved me, man. Like I didn't know because a lot of people don't go online to tell their feelings. The smart ones, like Facebook is not a fucking therapist, okay? So they don't go on there and like fucking do that. But he sent it to me, and I knew I was right because I I did what I've done, and the things that this gentleman said proved it. You know, and he wasn't like, your music has got me. He said, your music has got me through like the worst shit. Like he knew every song I fucking done, and he did a little description. I'm like, oh, this song I could tell, maybe tell me if I'm wrong. You were influenced by this, and it was right. It was fucking right. And it went on it, and I'm like, damn. One thing he didn't say was, your music saved my life. I just wish you would have had a better engineer or drum tone or different reverb on your fucking voice, you know?
Right, right. That's so well said. That's so well spoken. That really hits me in the heart when you say that, because I took all this time to like study sound, but at the end of the day, what always feels the most rewarding is those types of messages, and it's that type of human connection that
And
what
finishing
what you,
and finishing
yeah,
your song, right?
yeah,
If you stopped for a second and had some fucking douchebag saying, I mean, you should this doesn't sound like crispy or whatever, you'd be bummed out and be like, oh, I'll try a different song. And now that asshole just fucking, you could have finished the song and put it out, and you could have saved somebody's life, bro. You feel me?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
look at
I feel
music
that.
like this is a fucking lifesaver. It's not fucking breath mint. You know, it's
No,
not a fucking, it's not for money, man. Music was not made to make money. It was meant for protest and fucking angst. Punk music. You think punk music, they gave a fuck about getting paid after the show? No, they wanted to fucking make sure they were covered in sweat, at least one of them bleeding, and a mosh pit, and fucking everyone having a blast. That's it. Okay? That's it.
so well said. And to someone who might be listening to this right now, and they hear those words, like, what other advice through the experiences you've had for up and coming musicians, producers, people who look at your journey and inspired themselves? I definitely like felt very inspired by your journey, and like, you know, listening to the Beyblade opening when I was a child, like you've personally influenced me and made me want to like go more into music, and like talk to you now is a full
That's
circle moment
awesome,
for me.
dude.
Like, of course, of course.
I'm honored, man. That's see, now I'm
Thank you.
getting
I
like
didn't want to
flushed.
start the interview with that. I didn't want to be like, I'm such a fan. First question. I didn't
No,
want to,
you're
you
allowed to
know.
do that. I'm a
Yeah,
fan of yours. Now look how honest. Look at the smile. See, I could look at you in the eyes, brother.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
I'm glad I did this interview, bro. That's so cool.
I'm glad we took the time to connect. When like, I mean, context is I posted a cover of the Beyblade opening on SoundCloud, and you commented on the track, and the track had 3 plays, and you were one of the 3 plays, and I couldn't believe it. And then like the fact that like you took the time to do that, and then reached out, be like, maybe he wants to talk, and here we are. It's a full circle moment for sure. But like for someone who wants to be on that path and wants to make music, outside of just like not listening to engineers, what like core advice and like emotional advice could you give to someone who wants to pursue this, I think, most beautiful field that is available on this planet?
Don't fucking listen to anybody but you, your heart, and your gut. Literally, don't listen to nobody, anybody, whatever. Um, and listen to a lot of music, but the right music. Don't listen to like everything you can. Don't go to top 10 and go, oh, what's cool? How do I fucking capitalize on this this industry? It's because to me it's not an industry. It's a way of life. It's not a fucking business. I hate that. I hate when people say that. Because to me, I don't feel like I gotta fucking wake up miserable. Like I fuck. Oh, the alarm goes off 7 a.m. Gotta go get there to my boss before I get fired. Fuck you. No, you're the boss, and it's yours to lose. But do it honestly, man. And any song that you write shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to fucking get the real deal down. You know? Don't listen to nobody. And only have people in your group, your band, whatever, that have that same ambition and that same, worldview of music.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Listen to Jeff Buckley. Write that down.
Jeff Buckley. I will go do that
And
right
Stone
after
Temple
this recording.
Pilots.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Smashing Pumpkins. That's
Smashing
good. That's
Pumpkins
a
is a
good starting
classic.
point.
I was listening like on pardon me, on Supernova, your cover of Creep was one of the I that blew me away. Like while we're at it, uh, you reinterpreted that so interestingly to me.
They
So I feel
wanted
like
to
you
do it different, dude.
really how
Yeah,
come?
because once you get your song, they give you these phones that had like it was like the first FaceTime ones, little flip up had a screen, little
Right.
screen. I was actually on their commercial, which was fucking crazy. I didn't know. I don't even know if I got paid for that shit. Anyways, um, yeah, they would bring us just like however long we played it on the show. They would do like a verse and then chorus, and that's it because that's all the time we had, right? But they added with the doom, 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 like that cheesy old the way they did it. Which see again, why the drums are already ruining what the guy is singing. When you're here before I can look you in the eyes, like that sounds like a fucked up scenario. You can't wait to hear what comes next lyrically, not doom, catch, doom, doom, you know. So I go no drums. And the house band, I remember because we'd go rehearse with them individually, each person on the show. You'd have like 40-minute block. You go down, all private too. I remember when I said that, I go, I just want strings for the whole verse. No, and the drummer, bass player, and especially the guitar player, because everyone wants to shred on television, right? And I go, no, let's just fucking keep it chill. And then with the run, like start building that shit up, and then you have some fucking triumphantness like right at the end, and that's it. Just and I go one light, just a light on me, and then we did the performance, whatever, and I guess people liked it, but after like people on the show were like, "How did you get the lights and all that?" And I went, I asked the production during the rehearsals, like, can you just instead of this all these fucking TV lights, can I just have one spotlight? You know, and he just, I mean, that was my art for 2.5 minutes in front of the world. So why can't I tell you to turn all the lights off and stop playing drums and don't do the guitar? Like, this is like a symphony. This is like orchestrated, right? Everything from the lights to the moments to the, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Was that too long winded?
No, that was perfect. That's a very accurate description of it, and I think also it speaks back to how you were saying about your Adele cover. Like, it's my song. It's a cover, but it's like it's my song. So I don't want drums here. I don't want bass there. I don't want guitar right now. I want it when I say run through the gamut, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
it worked. It worked, dude. It really did. I mean, I wish I could have sang it a little better, but I guess I didn't have to because, um, you know, I recorded a cover of that, and I don't think it turned out the same. The delivery, like mine was very vulnerable, you know.
Yes.
But I didn't record it like that, and that also going back to what I was telling you, brothers. I was terrified at that moment in my studio recording that. What am I scared about? You know, so that's what I left out in my current recording of that is like I didn't remember my own advice. You know,
Right.
there's no room for
Abs-
error when I'm the one recording it. You know, I mean,
right. 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 Right.
yeah, that was fucking scary, man. I looked like sad, but like into the song. Yes, I was, but I was also like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm terrified. Don't look at anybody in their eyes. It'll put you out of your game. You know what I mean? It's just, I love that, bro. I love it. Swimming with
Right.
sharks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and when you like were talking to the house band, you were like, no, no guitar here and everything, and you were structuring it. How did you learn to like music like that in your head? You know what I mean? Like, how do you go about structuring like a cover or a song? Is it always a different process? Like, because you very quickly in a 40-minute block, were able to put together a song structure that really took Creep to a new place, to something really refreshing in my opinion. So I feel like you did that very very naturally. Like how do you do that?
Well, I grabbed a pint of beer beside the pool when they gave us the little MP3 player, and I went, I was so sick of Jason and everyone telling me, "Oh, you're gravelly and shit." And I just saved the best for last. Like, if you're gonna, you don't show them all your cards yet. You know. So I did the songs that had that tonality in my voice because of the key, obviously the register, the key really supersedes, and it calls for the right area for your voice to be sound good. Because like I can probably hit any fucking note, even what girls can full voice. I'm not saying it sounds good. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like it's so high it sounds like a fucking baby crying. You're like, oh, bleh, But I just waited for the right moment, and I actually had no choice in the matter because that song, I never even chose any. I gave up. These guys were fighting over. Oh, I want this song. I go, when you guys are done, I'll take whatever. And that was God going, it's your, just show them what's up now. So I did my best. And everyone's like, where did that fucking come from? I go, right here. I've been here the whole time. You just didn't notice because I have eyeliner on. I have fucking some funky ass clothes and shit on. But damn, I can't believe I wore a priest outfit. That was fucked. They made me put a duct tape over my fucking Playboy bunny tattoo. I go, it looks worse now. I'm a fucking sleeveless priest with eyeliner, fucking like leather gloves, and an axe. That looks like I was saying like I'm not a priest or some fucking BDSM weird shit.
Right.
But fuck, that was fun, man. What a fucking great time.
That no, it looked like such a fun time. I was just curious because like this whole podcast I do is I talk a lot about anime music. Like outside of Beyblade, like were you ever listening to that type of music before? Like anything from like out in like in Japan, or like and if you do, like how would you compare it to like Western music? I'm so curious because like Beyblade kind of is a part of that, but it's such a rock heavy song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what me and Martin did different. Which I'm very sure that after we laid down that kind of awesome shit, I think it really it inspired people to like get away from the video game sounds, like the Nintendo fucking keyboard sounds and all that stuff, which children love, right? But just because you're children doesn't mean you can't fucking plug in a guitar and get crazy, right?
Yeah.
And that Cleavage, my first band, was very much that in that vein of that style, right? Like, and my voice was very young. I kind of sound borderline like Alvin from the Chipmunks. I'm very like, but a big, very character and nichey. But that was me at the time, and I just evolved into whatever I am today, man. I think that's what Martin Kuchai saw and heard at that show that night, and went, he had an epiphany probably, and thank God.
No, very
part of
very
history.
well said.
It's pretty.
No,
fucking
absolutely.
Cool.
It's part of history. Like one for the books. This is like a question I wanted to ask you. Like with all of the projects and everything you've done, and still like way more to come, triple albums, like so many exciting things to look forward to. Like how, as a musician, as a composer, like at the end of it all, like how do you want to be remembered? Like what do you want people to think of when they look at your legacy?
That I was honest and I was real, and the world, like a lot of the dark side of the world, tried to destroy that, and I was exalted through God. I was saved by God, and through that, hopefully, I saved anybody. Because a lot of people, like I said, don't go online and tell their feelings and their depressions and their sadnesses and their failures or their achievements. And I'm just like you. And I want them to remember I said thank you for making my life so much more livable and enjoyable. Thank you for even the hearts or the thumbs up, and also thank you for the advice, maybe ill-timed or not even nice words, because those as well have made me who I am today. You know, I've never stopped trying, and I never will. Yeah, and you could do the same. You could do maybe better if you just listen to what I'm telling you. Do what is right in your head
Right.
and your gut.
Right.
Your gut.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super well said. Lucas, that I don't see a better way to close it out than with that. I think that those are very powerful uh, thoughts and energies and feelings that and I really feel that. Like I
That made me
relate to that when you
emotional,
say
man.
that.
Thank you,
Bro,
because like,
so you're making me
holy shit.
you're
I just
dude, you're making
realized,
me
like,
emotional. I feel like when I talk to you, I connect to someone who's as passionate about music, or like not even like I see it, like I feel it, like right away. It's a language, it's a life choice, it's a lot of sacrifice, it's long nights, and it's so worthwhile if done properly. And I think like that's so true. And I just want to say like thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for thank you.
oh well, dude, I mean that, and thank you. And obviously, you know, you've made a friend, and I hope I have as well.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Well, you need to keep in touch, bro. And sincerely,
We'll do.
send me over some fucking tunes, and who knows, man? Just maybe I'll drop some lines on it if you want. You know.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what happens. My music, I haven't really like I do a lot of like it's a lot of like MIDI covers of anime songs. Like I'm a big anime music. Like that's the whole thing of the show, the whole thing with the channel.
So maybe we should do the full version of Beyblade.
Oh my god. Oh my
That's,
god,
I
that would
think
be
because if you want to rock the music on it, I'll fucking sing. I'll make up like the rest of it. Like we'll just brainstorm and let's bring the house down, dude. I think people would love that because it's too short for me too, man. I'm like, fuck, it was just getting started, bro.
right.
You know?
Okay. I I think that could be that we can make that happen.
Yeah,
we can
think
definitely
about it,
like
man.
look at that.
You know,
We'll think about it. Yeah, and we have a lot of time ahead of ourselves. Like maybe one day we'll see where it comes. But like and like just thank you for taking the time and wishing you a great adventure in this music world. And
you too, brother. You too, man.
thank you,
You hang in
thank you.
there, man. Fucking plant your feet, man. Start
Will
fucking
do.
marching, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll put Lucas's links in the description. Like,
Yeah.
go follow Lucas. Like,
Hell yeah.
if you probably already are, if you're listening to this.
If anyone's gonna check it out, well, I'm playing a show in Biloxi, Mississippi. Biloxi, Mississippi. When? This Saturday. So if anyone's out there,
Okay,
fucking come
this will
on.
probably come out a little bit after, but like, we'll like go check out Lucas. Any like your YouTube has a Bands in Town link thing. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep in touch with all of that.
Keep in touch and freaking keep those Frenchies fucking safe, okay? I miss it, man. I miss it.
Oui.
Shit. I mean, oh yeah, right? Holy shit. Oh yeah, and check out the Stage It shows, stageit.com that I do, man. I'm
Okay.
gonna be like starting playing like giving taste tests of the new stuff coming, so I'd love to see you there, and yeah, it'd be fucking fun as hell.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like this is the start of a beautiful friendship and of a beautiful adventure. So thank you, man. I appreciate your. I just appreciate all of this.
You're a good man, bro.